Welcome back, y'all. Can anybody please explain and tell me what is going on with these talented, yet disturbed or troubled linebackers that come from up out of Alabama into the pros? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. And as a Dallas fan, you know how I'm gonna go back to Rolando McClain. I really don't know what's going on with this whole thing with the Reuben Foster issue, and I'm just going to be extremely candid right about now with this particular situation because I'm like, cut him. Just send a message to these guys coming out. Cut him. Be done with him because it's pretty much if you go back and look at because these pro football scouts and these scouts and all these guys, these all these people that go out there look at these players during the draft and all that kind of stuff. They go on their personal lives and all this other kind of stuff. They do these types of things. I mean, somebody like coming from me, like somebody like myself, just saying that when you start talking about when you're in a security field and when people have top secret clearances and top secret clearances and SCIS and all that other type of stuff that they have, they're going back checking out people's background. Well, obviously, if you look at Reuben Foster's background, it's a lot of trouble there. You follow, say Foster was born, like I said, his father and mother had some issues and stuff like that, and his father actually shot at his mother while he was holding 18-month-old Reuben Foster in the back. Shot his mother in the back. And when you're raised in these type of environments, I mean, look at what's going to eventually end up happening. It's sad. Now, January 18th, it was announced that Foster had been arrested in Alabama by Tuscaloosa County Sheriff Office of possession of marijuana. Here's released posting $2,500 bond. Now, this is January 13, 2018. Now, mind you, this joker here basically missed the season due to injuries, right? He was doing good, but he's missed the season, and then in 2018, he's still out here smoking weed. Now, I just, somewhere along the line, that cannot be important anymore, dude. When you start making, even though you're the 31st, I forget which pick he was, 31st overall. I mean, if it wasn't for certain issues, he would have went higher than what he went because he was one of the top linebackers in the country coming out of Alabama, like most of the Alabama linebackers are. Be it C.J. Mosley, be it Reggie Ragland, be it going back to Rolando McClain, Hightower. These guys. It's not that these guys can't play. These guys have issues off the field. Issues off the field. Now, April 11th, Foster was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence with his 28-year-old living fiance, girlfriend, whatever she is to him, domestic violence, threats, assault, weapon, possession, and carries. And on April 12th, he was charged with felony counts of multiple domestic violence, possession of a weapon, and infliction of bodily harm. He dragging old girl by the head and stuff like that. And this cat, 23 years old. First and foremost, what he doing with somebody older? I don't even get that, but that's another story. That's whatever rocks your boat. But I'm like, you're in the league, you come on the come up, you have the skills. San Francisco looked like they might be getting ready to start doing something. You get hurt, and then you got this. Then lay this on top of it, all the things that's happening with a Smith, who was with the 49ers. And his drinking and whatnot took him down the road. And it's Alden Smith. That's just one of the most tragic things to me because this guy had it all. And I already did a piece on him. So when you look at this, you look at the issues that happened with another one of their linebackers, Amara Brooks. He had some issues. They cut Navarro Bowman, sent him to the Raiders, and now this is happening to your guy who's supposed to be, who has an opportunity to be the leader of your defense, and this is happening. You need to send a message, get rid of him. I say get rid of him because there's no reason for him to even be around. Because if this is the type of behavior that's going to go on, what you going to do with him? You just got You still having the remnants of Alden Smith laying around, and this guy obviously he doesn't even want to play football no more. He much rather be drunk and run around out in the streets acting stupid and getting arrested by cops than to sit up there and have a lucrative deal. Well, probably by now, Alden Smith would probably have about 100 sacks by now, and probably have made probably about 70, $80 million by now. But instead, you look at where his career is going to end, and it's sad because this guy had it all. He was Charles Haley, basically, in my opinion, Charles Haley with athleticism, more than what Charles Haley had. But, you know, I mean, these guys don't care. But I'm looking at that. Go back to Rolando McClain. Let's go back to Rolando McClain. Like I said, being a Cowboys fan, I've watched just like what? And these guys, I mean, what you're going to have to, some of these owners and these scouts going to have to do is just like, dude, you know, you got issues. McClain just, actually on my birthday, the 21st of 2013, was arrested for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Before that, shooting guns up in there, aiming at his uncles and all this other kind, just at some funeral. Just absolute craziness. What are these dudes thinking about? Right now, C.J. Mosley has been like that top line, one of the top linebackers coming out, and been a model citizen, a Pro Bowl, and all that. Still playing, trying to take over that role, be the sort of the best way he possibly can to be the next Ray Lewis, as far as, you know, on the field and stuff like that. But I'm like, come on, man! Like, what are these guys doing? I do not get it with these guys. You know, McClain, and then he goes back Dallas. He coming back and stuff like this. His bachelor's degree. Guys, obviously a smart young man. 16, he gets a suspension in June of 2016 for violating the NFL substance policy. It reported McClain had become addicted to codeine after consuming a mixture as the purple drink. These jokers, man. And in 2017, May 12, 2017, arrested on equipment violations, firearms, and drug charges, according to the Hartsdale Police Department. In 2017, McClain graduated from the University of Alabama. So he just graduated. I said, the kid's smart. I'm just like, I don't get it. But in a nutshell, Reuben Foster cut him. Because if you're going to, in the 49ers, a lot of things have been extremely volatile with them, with the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. But you're looking at some of these owners now, and I touched on this before. What happens in a lot of different cases is that you have these guys who are great players, who are good players, who can probably be something, who can, you know, help your team and whatnot. And they talk about the abuse of women. You follow? The abuse of women. And that seems like, but with Colin Kaepernick, but we'll let that slide because he said he's dissing the flag and dissing the country, as they say. We all know that's not what it is. But you can get away with that of beating a woman up. That whole Ray Rice thing is not going to go away. But you still got some owners will still do this, you know, because his player's good. Well, you know, this, that. I know why it is that way, but you can't have it that way. What has to happen is somebody like Reuben Foster with 49ers, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm just saying, if I'm an owner, I'm cutting them just to send a message to them. I'm like, look, man, we can't deal with this. We can't deal with this. And you look at his past. We can't deal with this. And let him know this is not a joke. I get, because when you're in a relationships, things happen. And that's the sad part about this. But you got social media, and these guys take it to the next step. These guys don't know anything about relationships with women and really what's going on with them and how you're supposed to go about doing it. Even though he has a daughter, a young daughter, it's like he still doesn't get it. And just because you have a daughter doesn't mean anything, especially if you have a daughter at 17, 18 years old. So these guys don't get it. And I'm just looking at some of these linebackers, some of these great linebackers in college coming into pros, and things are not working out for them based upon certain silly things that they're doing when they could really helping out their ball club. There's no reason why Rolando McClain on the inside, Sean Lee on the inside. You follow? If you want to throw in Jalen Smith, throw him in there. But you got these guys in the inside. Rolando McClain, there's no reason why this man is not supposed to be playing in the NFL. You follow? And it's so just disheartening to see these guys just keep completely making stupid mistakes after stupid mistakes. And I just, and like I say, these guys they just don't have no guidance. There is no guidance with these guys. Reuben Foster, just idiotic. You're in a relationship, dealing with certain things. The one thing you know you can't do is put your hands on no woman. You can't do it, man. You cannot do it. If you can't if you can't go look for anything else, you better go look up that Ray Rice thing. You can't do it, man. Stop making the stupid mistakes. But me, I'm cutting them. Now, I don't know whether they're going to cut them or not because they say they got to do their own investigation. It ain't no investigation. We all know what happened. So, at the end of the day, you need to cut them to send a message that we're not tolerating with this mess, especially after you've been dealing with the whole Alden Smith thing. You dealt with the whole Alden. You have dealt with the Alden Smith thing. You've dealt with the Ahmad Brooks. You dealt with the Ahmad Brooks thing. All these things. It's like we ain't got time. Then on top of that, the Colin Kaepernick thing. 49ers is trying to build, so we ain't got time to deal with this. So they ought to just go ahead and cut him and be done with. And that sends a message to him, let him know, look, man, nobody's playing that game with you no more. But these linebackers coming out of Alabama, man, I don't know what these guys are doing. I just do not get. I don't get it with these guys. You know. We'll be back in a few minutes.